How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back. Today's just a little update video about Friday the 13th, a franchise I really care about, and yeah, I guess just a little channel update. So this video and then Saturday's following up will be for the time being, the last Friday video, and then after that we'll get to our regularly scheduled programming. But yeah, this one's just a little update, and then Saturday will be unboxing that has to do with it, and yeah, stay tuned for that. But what am I talking about? So, again, Friday the 13th, movie franchise, popular, one of the, if not the biggest of all time, 80s horror. It's been gone, at least theatrically, right? Ever since the reboot in 2009, we haven't had a new film. And it's because of lawsuits and all that sort of thing. So, to give you the general overview of what happened, or what just happened about a month ago, is Victor Miller, the original script writer of the first film, so he wrote the script, and he, of course, the way IP and all that works, ownership, it's he doesn't own it, right? It's just he writes it. And then, of course, the studio, whatever, in this case, the director, Sean Cunningham, was the one that took Friday the 13th and made it into what it is today, right? This, huge multimedia franchise brand. And, yeah, there's a law here in the States, sorry, I don't know the name, where it's the original creator, so him, it's a law where after 35 years, which the first film came out in May of 1980, after 35 years you can get you get your rights back, the ownership goes back to you. It's a law that's in place, and of course it's done to protect creators, make sure they get compensated properly, because of course in his case, the one film, it was a one and done. Of course, Jason wasn't the main attraction that we all know him now. That didn't happen until part 2, and then the hockey mask was until 3. And yeah, Sean Cunningham, again, the director, was the one that really took the series and blew it up. And essentially the whole legal battle was between Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham, Horror Inc., his company around that sort of thing. And it's been going on for years. I mean, you can go as far back as Friday 9, you could say. Jason Goes to Hell. And then, of course, you had Jason X. If you notice, they don't have the Friday the 13th name. There's been issues since, the early 2000s. Again, Freddy versus Jason, it doesn't use the Friday name. And, the reboot did. But, yeah, ever since then, it's just been in and out of court appeals. So originally, Victor Miller actually won. He won the domestic, so U.S. only. Of course, internationally, still fair game. It's a big mess. But Victor Miller won, so he got the rights to his script, the first film. So that means he owns Crystal Lake, Pamela Voorhees, and I guess that means the Jason name, at least the kid, the child. Where, again, when you think of Jason, you think of, big man, hockey mask. He doesn't own that. Of course, that came later. But he pretty much owns, the backstory. I mean, think Pamela Voorhees, these are characters he created. Crystal Lake, place he wrote, he owns that in the U.S., and yeah, it was appealed, by Sean Cunningham. And just about a month ago, they came to the conclusion that, the appeal was it didn't go through, meaning that Victor Miller is the definitive owner of his original script of those characters in the U.S., and I have to keep saying that. And yeah, and I bring this up because now there's a potential of, so the whole lawsuits, the whole, legal troubles are over, per se, so can we finally get a new film? And, as a fan myself of the franchise, also the game, right? I mean, it was done by Gun Media and Delphonic, And yeah, the game had to be shut down because of these lawsuits. You know, everything that was going through and like who owns what. Because of course, if you know, the game references everything, Crystal Lake, you know, Pamela, and now that like Victor owns that, you know, that sort of thing has to be renegotiated. Of course, the product's out, so that doesn't matter. But it's, you get what I'm saying. Like, it's just more hoops to jump through now. And yeah, at first I'll admit I was against Victor getting it, just because, like, if let's say Sean won, right? Because again, he was the one that blew up the franchise, so it kept it going. If Victor, like, let's say lost, it would have just continued as normal. We'd be getting new films. The game would probably still be getting updated, or maybe even a sequel, you know, that sort of thing. But now that he, you know, he owns the rights back, now essentially for them to move forward, like, things would have to be negotiated, right? And like now it's like you understand that it was the right call that he won, because again, he made that and he never got compensated for any of the future films. Of course, you know, you have to think back then, like what, Halloween had come out 2 years prior. Friday was pretty much seen as like a knockoff, right? A copycat. You don't expect it to be this huge success. And similar to like what Halloween did with 3, the original idea for Friday the 13th was going to be that it was going to be like an anthology, you know, like a different story each film. But of course they fought for, you know, to keep Jason bringing back, and then it became what it is today. And so it's nice to see that he got his, you know, he got that back, and he can be going forward if they decide to work together. And that's the thing, it's like you can't imagine they don't, because again, he in the US he owns like the backstory. Like going forward, what if they want to do the adult killer, they'd have to like change the backstory completely. Like, you know, his mom can't be named Pamela, they can't use Crystal Lake. And yeah, it's like, I don't know, for such an old franchise, remember 1980, we're in what, 2021? So 41 years. Like, they just had to switch it up all of a sudden, I don't know. And look, I'm pretty sure both these guys hate each other, because again, they're the ones going at it in court. But yeah, that's what was ruled, and you know, I just wanted to bring attention to it that we may finally see something going forward. You know, I mean, not that they would see this, but hopefully you two, you know, you guys can bury the hatchet and we can go forward and, you know, just get new Friday out there, right? New films. I mean, look at Halloween. Just had Halloween Kills this year. 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago was the reboot, and then of course next year ends the trilogy. And with Kills, Halloween regained the top spot of like all slasher franchises, like most, it made most profitable, where Friday for the longest was king, but you know, it's been gone for so long, that's not the case anymore. And it'd be nice to see him get it back. And I guess just before I end it, it does bring into question too, like, pretty interesting thing about, so again, the law that after 35 years, the original creator gets, you know, the rights back. Right now, as we're speaking, Disney is facing tons of lawsuits against, for Marvel characters, because you have to remember, these are old characters, some of them going as far back as the 30s. I think it's like almost 100 years, so it's been well over 35. And a lot of the, like, estates, like, or, you know, like, because some of these creators have passed on, right? And, you know, they have, like, their family and things like that. Like, some of these people are going for their rights. And, again, in a legal court, it was ruled that Victor gets his rights back. So you have to think that, yeah, so think, it's crazy to think that for this whole Friday lawsuit, this whole court battle is really going to change, like, a lot, because think that's all of Marvel. So Spider-Man, you know, X-Men, you get that, like, they could potentially lose the rights to that and have to negotiate with the creators or the family of them. You get the idea. And yeah, I mean, of course, it's Disney. You don't really bet against them. They're one of the largest just companies, period, in the world. And of course, they're doing everything in their power to countersue and all that sort of thing. But yeah, just want to bring that to light that because of this ruling, going forward, the MCU might fall apart. It might not exist anymore. But of course, with legal stuff, it takes years and years. Disney is a very rich company, so they can drag it out. They got more money than most of these people, so if anything, they can win just by, having the money. But yeah, I just want to bring attention to it that it has been resolved, and hopefully we'll be seeing just new anything, whether it's films, sequel to the game. I love that Gun Media to come back. Of course, they're very passionate of that game, and yeah, it was just a shame to see it end the way it did because of everything that was going on. I think they're rumored to be working on like a Leatherface game, which hey, I'm all for it. He's the OG of them all. Of course, many credit Halloween in '78, but Texas Chainsaw was '74, so he's the the triple OG, if you will. And yeah, it'd be I'm all for it, but it'd be nice to see them come back and hopefully we just get new films out of it, right? I mean, that's what matters. And then I didn't even talk about like all the distributing rights too. How like Paramount owns like the first 8 films, and then like New Line owned like 9, 10, and then Freddy vs. Jason. You get the idea. It's there's still a lot left, but I guess what I'm saying is we're at a crossroads where hopefully we can actually see stuff going forward. And yeah, just want to bring attention to it. Again, I'm a huge fan of the series, very passionate about it, and yeah, I'm excited of the idea that it'll come back. And I talk about it now. Again, this had all happened like a month ago, but I just bring it up now because I was talked about the film and it fits in with what I'm doing right now. But yeah, thank you for watching. And hey, if you stayed this long, I really appreciate it. And yeah, make new videos every Tuesdays and Saturdays. As always, guys, I've been your host, Soxy. And stay tuned. Next Saturday, got a great video, unboxing, really cool stuff. So make sure you check it out. As always, take care.